What up? It's your boy King Down 225 coming at you with another reactionary video. Our King speaks. I'm gonna speak on the systematic racism. I decided to give y'all, you know what, particularly, specifically one person in particular. I did a video a couple of weeks back. I have a YouTuber that I'm subscribed to. I kind of sort of like her, as much as I kind of sort of like her people. And anybody who know me, that is saying a lot. That mean I kind of sort of like you a lot. But she just Pearly Things had an episode, which I did a reactionary video to. I'm gonna leave a link in the description on what she when she was discussing racism in America. But she was doing it while in England, talking to non-FBS or non-ADOS, and the only American who in the discussion happens to be a white lady. I'm like, man, they don't understand. That would be presumptuous of me to say racism in America is worse than England when I never been to England or experienced it. I'd be like dismissive of their experiences. Like I don't understand apartheid and how much it impacted South Africans. So I won't sit here and say, oh, it wasn't that bad. It just it rubbed me wrong on so many levels because y'all don't really understand when we say systematic racism or the shit that we had to endure over these centuries to even have a proper discussion. And she brought up Thomas Sowell as if that's the only answer to the black problem. So I'm gonna start here, as you can see. I'm not gonna play this video. I'm gonna leave a link in this. I'm gonna leave a lot of links in the description for the stuff I'm about to talk about. Uh, but the CNN um, segment was discussing uh, racism in home appraisal process, and I decided to start here because they don't like us to talk about racism. They roll their eyes and be like, racism 400 years ago. Why do I have to pay for something um, that my great 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 granddaddy did? Ma'am, okay, how about you give them millions of dollars that your great 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 granddaddy made off of free labor? Fuck it. It ain't gotta be the equivalent to today's money. Give us them millions of dollars that they made back then to start this systematic racism process and put y'all uh, ahead of the game and us behind. So, but we're gonna talk about these certain apparatuses. We're not gonna talk about slavery because they don't like to talk about slavery as if we ain't got a lot of other shit that these America has did to black people, even though we fully American, even though they don't view us like that. But first place I'm gonna start is black couple sues after they saw home valuation rises nearly 300,000 when shown by white colleagues. That's right. In America, if a black family gets their home appraised, it has less value than if a white person gets their home appraised. King, how can you say that? It's too many instances. You go watch this clip and they'll break it down how black families have to use their white friends. I go get an appraisal. They give me a number. And then I go get another appraisal and use my white friends to the point where they de-blackify their home. They take all the pictures down, put up white people pictures, and they got a $300,000 increase in the value of that home. Do y'all understand what that means? If you constantly devaluing black people's uh, property, that's less wealth they have to pass down. That's less wealth they accumulate. It's just one aspect of it. These people literally got to act as though black people never lived here. Oh my God, I can smell them on. I can smell a black in here. This house is not worth as much if good white folks stayed here. So I just wanted to start there. I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you can see the whole the video, and it breaks down in great details on what these black families, doctors, lawyers have to do to get equal value in America for their property. So you don't like to start in racism, I mean in slavery. So the first article I'm about to pop up is right after the end of racism. Labor unions and the Negro, the record of discrimination. That's right. I've told you pearly things. If you want a proper education on black history, go get the Hidden Color series. It's gonna tell you all you need to know. Well, when slavery ended, YT, that's YT, had a problem that he like, man, I don't know how we gonna deal with this shit. It's too many, a large force of skilled laborers that were once slaves about to flood the market. So we need to do something. Leave a link in the description for this article. We need to do something to ensure that the good white folks always have access to the best jobs and be able to control and dictate who can get these jobs or make this money. Again, wealth building. You know how many times black people haven't said, or even white people said, man, when I look at their application and I see, ooh, Tyrone or Boone Chica, I don't even call them. I just put the application in the trash. But if I have a Thomas or a Becky, they're going to get the job. Wonder where that come from. Then she talked about how her father, to white people don't understand white privilege, how her father was raised on the south side of Chicago in I don't want to say the hood or the ghetto, but he wasn't rich. But she grew up rich because he turned into a millionaire, right, with a bunch of kids. I'm like, she still don't get her white privilege. She just don't get it. Another thing that black people had to endure. 1949. I'm assuming her dad around this age when the GI Bill, how the GI Bill's promise was denied to millions of black World War II veterans. That's right. The GI Bill was set up to help veterans, military veterans, get housing and business loans, I think, or go to school or something. But it seemed like every application that black men who died and fought for this country were majority denied. Again, generational wealth denied, opportunity denied. I'm trying to show you how systematic racism traps my people in this perpetual poverty state. So now labor unions in control, and they dictate who gonna get the jobs and who gonna get paid by what. I go to war and fight for the rights of people who don't view me as the same, and yet I come back home and I'm still treated like shit, and I'm not given the same opportunities as the white soldiers in my same unit. Then we go to the next one. How do black people continually get trapped in this loop? This loop. This loop. Oh Lord. We talking about redlining. What is redlining, King? A forgotten history of how United States government segregated America. Redlining is basically a red line mean what we will allow a black person to purchase and live, as opposed to I won't even show him these property. He won't get approved for these loans. No, we're gonna always push him over there to the black communities, the poverty-stricken areas. So not only we can't find a job, we're not given the same opportunities, Now, when we go try to get a bank loan, we get denied by the same people who ran the unions. And we try to leave our community and better ourselves. They tell us, "Oh, you can't be over here. This the only place you can go." And after they done trapped us in these areas that we can't escape, be like, oh, but some of y'all do get it. Like that ought to tell you a testament to the ones who do make it, how great they are. Shout out to the ones who did make it. So now we can't buy purchase homes, we can't get mortgage loans, we can't go where we want to expand and free ourselves from these shackles of poverty stricken areas and crime infested neighborhoods. So now that we locked in, okay, now how do we systematically stop their voting power? Oh, so we gonna go to gerrymandering. Now all this happened after slavery. Gerrymandering. What is gerrymandering, King? Gerrymandering is specifically, say I got a state like Louisiana. All the black people is in one area. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, maybe Shreveport. I'm gonna carve out a voting area with a majority of black people, not slice it equally, because that might give black people too much voting power. I'm going to specifically get this area, this black area, make this a district so just all these black people got one vote. But then I'll make every other area around them was white folks, because if I split it equally, maybe black people would have maybe 2, 3 votes instead of one. But I'm gonna make these areas, these 8, 9 areas around this one black area, all a voting district. So now we got 8 voting power to your 1 voting power. That's what gerrymandering is. It's systematic. Let me see if I can find a picture. You see how they slice these districts up? Instead of slicing them equally, they they maneuver and moving around so it can best fit their power structure. Prison-based gerrymandering. Prison-based gerrymandering occurs when prisoners are counted as residents of a particular district, increasing the district population with non-voters. Y'all go read this shit. The primary goals of gerrymandering are to maximize the effects of supporters' votes and to minimize the effects of opponents' votes. A partisan gerrymander's main purpose is to influence not only the districting statute, but the entire corpus of legislative decisions enacted in its path. That's exactly what gerrymandering is. All that trapping us. Now let's get to the origins of policing, slave patrols. I'm just gonna leave the link in the article so you can understand exactly. Labor union can't get a job. Boom Shika and Tyrone's names on the application gonna get denied more often than Tom and Becky. Our great granddaddies and our daddies, after serving in this country, were given the same opportunity to generate generational wealth by getting business loans and home loans. We were stuck in poverty-stricken, crime-ridden neighborhoods because the powers that be, who had control, wouldn't let us buy certain houses or getting certain loans from banks or mortgage lending companies. Gerrymandering. Once we locked in to these places, now we're gonna control the power of your political power. We're gonna control your political power. And guess what? Now we're gonna empower these former slave traders, slave patrols to police you in your neighborhoods to protect our wealth. Not only that, we not. I done discussed the Iran Contra scandal. Go look that up and the effects that had on my community and how crime went up when they introduced cocaine into our communities. So just pearly things. That was just a tip of the iceberg, a little taste. I'm gonna leave all these links so you can just stop quoting, Thomas Sowell, and really get a real you and your non-FBAs on your podcast can get a better understanding on real systematic racism. So y'all be so dismissive and like, oh, it ain't that bad today. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Well, how come immigrants can come to America now and do better than blacks? Okay, I hear you. But I'm gonna ask you a question. What would have happened to a Nigerian immigrant, because people love to bring them up, if they would have came on the same boat as my great 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 granddaddy or grandmama? Would you think they had the same opportunities? Or they would have been through the same shit that we had to endure? The fact that we pulled America kicking and screaming toward progress to make the world better for everybody out there, don't be dismissive of the process. Like we had to go through 400 years of whatnot and bullshit to get to this point for people to come on a plane in 2022 and complain about, oh, black people not really doing it, they just complaining lazy. And when us Nigerians come over here, we prosper. Well, you should have came your ass over here at 16, 19 and be feel that way. Oh, but you didn't. You didn't even come here to save us. You came here to, you actually helped sell us. So maybe I'm gonna make a couple of more videos of this nature to educate. And don't get me wrong, I still like your videos. I still mess with you as much as I can mess with, you. Again, that's saying a lot about how I feel about you, how much I mess with you. That is actually a compliment. But I would like for you to get more education, more knowledge on shit that you would never, never really get before you start speaking on, is racism really a real problem in America in 2022? Fucking right it is. Hit that like, subscribe, become part of the kingdom. Y'all go read all these articles. This is from NAACP. I don't really trust Wikipedia, but I just look for the definition. This is from NPR. This is from History Channel. And this one is from I guess the common, I don't know. Commentary, I don't know. But that is all reputable articles. This ain't no bullshit. Hit that like and subscribe and become part of the kingdom.